10 years ago, I was in my bedroom at home listening to George Ezra's Barcelona, and my brother came in the room and he said, Josh, Mum wants to see you in the front room. And I knew immediately it wasn't going to be good news. About 10 days before that, I had a biopsy, had a lump removed from my arm. And when I went into the front room, Mum's crying, sister crying, brother starts crying. Mum says, results are in, you've got stage 2 cancer. And boom, like that, world flipped upside down. Anybody that has dealt with this crazy disease that's a wild part and a difficult part of the human experience knows what that feeling is like. Lost, hopeless, why me, how has this happened, anger. There's a lot that goes into it. But now, 10 years on, I reflect back on having cancer as a experience that I do believe saved my life. And I'm not saying that for clickbait or to not accept the gravity of this terrible disease or try to underplay that. But it did save my life, and I want to talk on in this video as to why that is, and share with you some of the takeaways from the experience with the intention of sharing a mindset and an approach to life that is a lot different, that will hopefully empower you to live free and on your own terms, because that's what this channel is about. And cancer is a big part of my story, and it's an experience that really empowered me and did save my life to allow me to live on my own terms. So I want to talk on that. Let's dive into it. So let's talk on who I was before having cancer to set context. So I was a really good boy, followed all the rules, did as I was told, ate what they told me to eat, followed guidelines, went to university, got the random degree, got all the debt, got into a minimum wage job, didn't get a grad job, just did life as most people seemingly did. You know, most other guys like me, drinking in pubs, getting hammered, sleeping around, all of that. That's who I was. And I reflect back now, I was probably on the pathway to depression and maybe suicide. And I don't want to talk that as if it definitely was going to happen. And again, I'm not trying to underplay suicide as a thing, but when you look at the statistics, it's unfortunately compelling as to men are statistically killing themselves more frequently. And I'm a guy that investigates why. And when I look at why in the stories I've heard, I shared similar traits to those guys. Feeling hollow, not feeling purposeful, feeling low energy, feeling like my life's not going anywhere, feeling lost, confused, not rewarded. All of this, that's who I was. And then I got the diagnosis, and for 2 years I went through treatment and really just got exposed to more and more events and information that discredited what I'd been told before. For example, when I got diagnosed with cancer, I was like, why have I got this? I'm 21. I thought I was healthy. I followed all the rules. I played sport, did all of that. And then I started to look at the food guidelines that I'd been following. And immediately, it literally took, you can Google it, took me 2 Googles to see that a good percentage of the food I've been eating is class A carcinogenic, but that was on the guidelines. And I'm like, all right, well, this doesn't add up. And the further into the rabbit hole, less and less of it started to add up. Some of the treatment I received and the way that they were administering it was like, not that I ever expected to be receiving cancer treatment, but was just so wild and so experimental. And this is only 10 years ago, so experimental. And the doctors didn't seem to have any answers for why I got sick. That was never addressed. The root cause was never addressed. It was just take these experimental drugs, see how they react, see if your body comes back. And if it doesn't, well, that's what it is. And over the time of that 2 years, life started to make less and less sense. And as I got older and started to really recover, because the actual recovery, the healing, really you're getting your body destroyed and then you got to recover, which I wasn't told. Again, I had to figure that out on my own, that I need to heal. The further and further I went into that, the further and further away I pulled from regular societal life, regular societal norms. I just pretty much dissolved all of my trust in the power, the way it's supposed to be. And I did that because I didn't trust and don't trust so many authorities and experts that really don't know what they're talking about. But before I had cancer, I just listened like an automaton. I didn't have that ability to think critically because I wasn't taught that. So this is the first way that cancer saved my life. It took me, put like a handbrake, 180 spin, and put me on my own path, what I call the sovereign path, the path towards my inner truth, where I'm not really led by somebody who tells me they're in charge of me. I'm not led or influenced by people who are allegedly experts with credentials I don't believe in. And as a result of that, I have accessed the ability to create and build my own beliefs, my own life, my own way of doing things that empowers me. So I think about that now at 31, 10 years on. My life is so different to most people I know. But I think it's so accessible for a lot of people if they just do certain things. And I wouldn't have had that. I wouldn't have had that if I didn't have such a life-changing event at a young age. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I have that ability to just really live beyond the known and not listen, not be led. That's powerful. It's very, very liberating. And it also gave me the ability to take risk, jump kind of off the cliff and back myself more. Because before I had cancer, I had some belief in myself, but I was not really like super self-worth high or strong inside or authentic. I was just kind of like another sheep in the flock. And now I've taken so many risks over the last 10 years. I've done things that most people are like, oh, what's the risk? It's like, I know what the real risk is. The real risk is following guidelines, rules, and a trajectory that has the outcome where you're sick, broke, unhealthy, hollow. That's the risk for me. But I wouldn't have known that unless I'd experienced that, right? Seeing the contrast allowed me to see that. And why I'm sharing that with you is, and why I'm sharing a lot of this with you is because I have been working with men for 6 years to help unbox their highest potential, help them live life on their own terms. And without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest obstacle to achieving that is men have not experienced a terrible event in their own life, like cancer or something else that has dissolved all of those obstacles that were created. The box you find yourself in was created by somebody for some reason. You can decide on your own what that is for you, but I know what it is for me. And because of that, those obstacles get in the way of them fulfilling their potential. They get in the way of them actually pursuing what's on their heart and actually building a life that they want to live. And I know that to be true because I've seen it hundreds of times on hundreds of calls with men. And I don't have that. I don't have it because it was taken away from me. So I got given cancer, but at the same time, I believe God took me down the path to take away all of those limiting beliefs and let me live outside of my box and then encourage other men to do so. And if I didn't have that, then I maybe wouldn't be doing this work. I wouldn't be doing the life that I wouldn't have traveled the world. I wouldn't have lived over here. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done so much. So I believe it saved my life for that reason. It put me on a different path, and it's empowered me now to be able to share with you that there is a different way to life that not many people talk about, because our inner potential is often hidden. It's often kept small, locked away, and taken down paths where it isn't nourished and cultivated and grown and expanded and multiplied. It just isn't. But there is a way. There is a way for that. And whilst a difficult time, cancer opened that door for me, right? So I believed it saved my life. And I believe that if you are going to win big, you have to dissolve a lot of the limiting beliefs that you were given. You have to step outside of the control of authority, whatever that is. What does that even mean? Who are they? Who are the people? And instead step into your own innate king energy, which is already within you, and live from that. And it took me years. It took me years to uncover that because nobody told me different. They were just like, eat this, do that. Oh, you've got cancer, congratulations. You know? So a lot of the work that I do on this channel, a lot of the reason that I bring this channel here is to draw on the lessons from having an illness like that at a young age. It's given me this fucking unfuckwittable mentality of like, I can do anything and achieve anything, go anywhere, do anything, build anything, grow anything. just achieve because I've seen the other side, and I might have just been repeating myself. This is not an easy topic to talk on because cancer is terrible, obviously, but it's empowering to reframe and re-remember the past to make your present stronger and better and more alive. And I want to share that with you. I want to share with you that, like, you're capable of far more than maybe somebody else has told you. And if you don't have an event like this in your life, then it may be that you never actually access that. And that's sad to me. Because for some men like me, I needed that wake-up call. I needed that complete pivot. And I'm not saying I want you to get cancer, obviously. But if this video does nothing else other than serve as the idea of a big pivot, serve as the moment where you're like, fuck, this guy isn't actually lying and I need to change the trajectory, because the trajectory I'm on is the fucking what he just said about being hollow, depressed, sad, not fulfilling my potential. You don't want to get to the end of your life and be with those emotions. You just don't want that. And this video could be a handbrake. What do the Americans call handbrake? Do they even have handbrakes? But the fuck, it's a wake-up call. I'm going to go all in on me. I'm going to take more calculated risks. I'm going to start expressing myself as who I am. I ain't going to be listening to nobody on that fucking little 9-inch screen. Well, you're watching this on a mobile, though. Why would you listen to me? But you know what you're saying? Just because somebody's got a shirt and tie on and a suit and they're on TV and called an expert doesn't mean you have to listen to them. Do a bit more critical thinking. Go a level deeper than that. I went all the levels deep. I went all the way in. I went into the innermost cave. And I want you to do that without having to have cancer. So there's no physical risk. So this is something that's on my heart a lot. You can probably feel the energy that this video comes with. To me, it's confusing when I talk about this because I can't always articulate how it makes me feel. But I do know that that event did save my life. And I want to share with you the energy that is in my life to help improve your life. That's what gives me more energy. So, thanks for watching. If there's any questions or feedback or any way I can extend and elaborate on this to make it clearer, let me know. But you got to live free and on your own terms. That's what I want you to know. You got to do that. In my opinion, there's no choice because it's so quick, it goes so fast, it's fleeting, life is booming, and everything can change. So it's got to be a priority as a man to live free and on your own terms, unbridled as the fucking king, dog. That to me is not a choice. If that's a choice for you, this isn't the channel for you. That is not a choice. It's about being authentically of service to the world and living as the fullest version of you. That's what cancer gave me, is that understanding, is that there is no other way. There is no other path. That's the only thing that actually matters. The results, the success, the money, the this, the that, all irrelevant, all pointless. It's a feeling, and it's an expression that we're all pursuing the highest one that we can. So, thank you very much for watching. Live free and stay as the king you were meant to be. I've been Joshua. This is Unboxable Kings. Much love. Peace.